All right, new video from the U.S.-Mexico border. What you're seeing is just the beginning. It's the latest video out of Eagle Pass, Texas, where migrants are crossing into the United States. And it is no longer a trickle, it is a flood. In the past 6 months, roughly, the population of San Jose, California, 1 million people have come across the border. That is a record by a long shot, but might pale in comparison to what's coming. Today, the administration formally ended Title 42. That's a Trump-era policy that allowed more illegal immigrants to be deported during the pandemic. Border Patrol sources say when it ends next month, Title 42 ends, immigrants from around the world are waiting to come in from Mexico. And there will be numbers that we have never seen before. From the New York Post, border agents brace for surge, say Biden administration has no plan with Title 42 set to be lifted. Even Democratic senators are not on board. Mark Kelly of Arizona wrote, "This is the wrong decision. It's unacceptable to end Title 42 without a plan and coordination in place to ensure a secure, orderly, and humane process at the border." Ali Bradley, independent journalist covering the border, has been doing a great job down there and joins us now. Ali, your sources, are they on this, that there is no plan? This is just going to end up like a Del Rio under the bridge situation times 1,000?
Well, actually, Leland, they are trying to work on some contingency plans. I can tell you that the National Guard is working on getting some teams together to be there as kind of that contingency plan should, we get this huge surge come May 23rd when Title 42 is slated to end. We also know that DHS is bringing in more employees. They're deploying more people to the southern border. All the while, FEMA is also down here. However, a disaster still has not been declared.
Thinking about how this is going to go, your sources are saying there could be how many people? And I guess what I'm trying to get at is that every time we do a story with you, it's Border Patrol is overwhelmed. Then every time we do the next story, there's even more numbers and they're still overwhelmed. How does it end?
You know, I guess it doesn't until it does, Leland, because honestly, these law enforcement individuals are saying they need more manpower. Every single one. That is the sentiment echoed across the southern border. They need more resources. And if nobody's willing to take these jobs, how are they going to provide those resources? They're just going to take them from other areas and leave those areas unmanned. So what is the answer? How does this end?
Yeah, you look at it, we can see on the numbers, border encounters 2019 to 2022. 2022 so far is about 100,000 people per month over the records that were in 2021. So that light blue line on the very top you see is going to jump up above the red line and Katie barred the door at that point. Tell me if I'm wrong in my analysis here, that the more people who come across and are encountered by Border Patrol, the more time Border Patrol spends with people who are surrendering and want to be captured because they can claim asylum, the less time the Border Patrol and Texas Rangers have to go after the bad guys who go where the Border Patrol is not.
I mean, you're exactly right. Those are those known gotaways, right? And we're expecting those known gotaways to obviously increase with the more people that come in. A known gotaway is someone who is seen on a camera or is seen by some kind of law enforcement individual and is not apprehended. You're looking at these stats right now, and that's what they're expecting. They're expecting, border agents tell me for whatever one person that they see, triple it for the gotaways. So they're saying that so many people get past them and they're really, really frustrated because they want to be helping people. They want to be apprehending people. That's their job. That is literally in their job description. Yeah. However, they're sitting inside processing, Leland. And when Title 42 goes away, they've got to figure out a contingency plan for the paperwork because Title 42's paperwork is quick. It's easy. You get them in and out. So when that goes away, how are they going to turn these people over at even a similar rate? And they're going to be double the amount of people.
Right, which is why there's so many people who are waiting to come across till May 23rd because they know it takes longer to process. There's a finite amount of holding facilities. So does that mean there's going to be a lot more people dropped off at bus stations and at airports like you've documented?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they don't really have a title authority other than Title 8, which deported a substantially less amount of people than Title 42. Now, they are saying that still will remain in place. But Title 42, they sent back 1 million people under that last year, Leland. So if that's gone, are those 1 million people just here? I don't know. Or what does that mean when they're getting sent to these NGOs that are already at max capacity?
Yeah, no,
how are they going to move these people?
Right. Even being able to deport 1 million people under Title 42, we saw how many were released into the United States. You can only imagine with 1 million extra people, that's 10 Dallas Cowboys stadiums worth of people that you've got to figure out how to house and deal with, or you release them into the United States because the administration says they won't deport them in the quicker ways or remain in Mexico. I want to get you to this video of the woman being rescued from a burning truck. This is near Laredo. A chase ended, and there was a woman stuck in a suitcase in the back of a smuggler's car. Why on earth would she be in the back of a car in a suitcase?
So she is a migrant and she was being smuggled, Leland. That's very, very standard for these smugglers. They put these people in really dangerous positions. We've seen people locked in wooden boxes. We obviously see a woman zipped up in a duffel bag. I mean, those are extremely unsafe conditions. And obviously law enforcement has to pursue these situations because they're breaking the law, right? If they just let these people go, then they're not upholding their job either. And a lot of people are frustrated that these pursuits even happen because of the residual impacts. But all of these communities along the border are trying to figure out, and they're doing their very best to keep these pursuits out of communities, out of cities. They're trying to curtail them and kind of funnel them into different directions, because just last month in Kinney County, there was a pursuit that ended just 2 blocks from the elementary school. Wow. So there are a lot of impacts to this, Leland. It is not just, one thing that we're seeing, just people self-surrendering. It is across the board a crisis that the administration's not acknowledging. And again, they still won't declare this as a disaster, but FEMA's here.
It has essentially become the Wild West. We heard yesterday that there were now more shootouts between the cartels on the Mexico side shooting at Border Patrol and the National Guard on the Texas side. So it seems only a matter of time before somebody in law enforcement ends up getting killed by one of the cartels. Really appreciate it, Ali. It was good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Leland.
Jen, thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.